On Veterans Day, U.S. mail carriers have the day off. Yet Devin Coy is still making deliveries.
Hey brother, how you doing? Are you hungry?
The longtime postal worker
Here you go, man. Here's some breakfast.
is driving around Louisville, but on a different route,
I have some food. Would you like to eat?
dropping off hot meals to homeless residents.
Good luck today. God bless you.
On this holiday, a lot of restaurants promote free meals for veterans, which Devin Coy is.
I decided just to hit every single restaurant rather than search out the ones that were actually participating in it.
But instead of using his VA card to get a free meal for himself, he's asking restaurant staff if they'd like to help feed the homeless.
And just tell them the truth. I'm not keeping any of this. I've got a good job. My fridge is full of food. All of this is going to the homeless downtown. Are you hungry?
Coy kicked around the idea for a few years. The experience, like his military service, changed him.
It was so powerful, man. It's so moving to do this. I didn't realize how good it makes you feel to help other people. I was in tears, basically, getting choked up, just trying to tell the manager what I was doing.
The morning commute eventually turns into the lunch rush, and that's about the time a manager at Boomba's in Jeffersonville goes above and beyond.
7 personal pan pizzas and like 3 orders of bread. Wow. These pretzel sticks, they just hooked us up. This is the best that anybody's ever done for me.
You want pizza or you want these breadsticks? Pizza? All right.
Coy retired from the Army more than 15 years ago,
You want a bottle of water? I think I got one left.
but his desire to serve grows stronger every year.
That young lady back there, I'm 42. She's probably late 20s, maybe early 30s. And to just, see her sitting outside the mission smoking a cigarette because she doesn't have anywhere else to go. God, it's heartbreaking.
And it's because of his servant's heart we say thank you. In Louisville, Jonathan Gregg, Spectrum News. The mountains of eastern Kentucky tell a story of beauty and heartbreak. Its scenic views are captivating.
I see the beauty in the gray of these mountains.
But it was the coal within the mountains that created an industry, keeping families here for generations.
So this is the site of a former mine.
Well, you drive on up in here.
Tim Crawford says even after the collapse of coal in eastern Kentucky, many families stayed, though thousands of jobs were gone.
The ripple effect is what you see, is that people, what we always said, families that could leave left and that had the ability to move and leave. Some stayed that, this is where I've been all along.
Crawford is the development director of Redbird Mission, hidden away in the Daniel Boone National Forest. Redbird provides food, water, clothing, also economic, health, and educational ministries in 3 isolated counties, an area Crawford has called home for more than 30 years.
It's a great place to live. I raised 2 daughters in these mountains.
However, poverty rates of Bell, Clay, and Leslie counties are some of the highest per capita in the country, between 30 and 40%.
Without the coal industry, how do people earn a living in this area?
Well, that's the whole issue. Basically we're down to healthcare, education is almost what you have here.
And the people who need the most help
Extremely isolated, remote.
are often the hardest to reach.
And New York State is a long ways away.
That's what makes this delivery so special.
I know there's a lot of us here making this happen. It's not just community outreach at Redbird Mission.
600 miles one way, and the last 20 were the longest.
Yes, sir. That's really true. But it's for a good purpose, why we do it.
Book bags and hats and gloves.
Churches throughout upstate New York have assembled and shipped thousands of shoeboxes of personal care supplies and holiday gifts.
Partnering with New York and this tremendous collection, we serve up to 4,000 children.
Tracy Nolan is the director of community outreach at Redbird. 25 years ago, Nolan came to Redbird for a 2-year nursing internship, but she never left.
And I continue to stay here to serve God's people. I'm in a community where there is so much talent and resilience and worth.
Pastor Dwayne Yost
If I live another 3 weeks, I'll be 87.
came to Redbird during the 1960s, and he's here to collect donations for his congregation at Flat Creek and Mud Lick Churches of the Brethren.
It's wonderful to be a part of God's work wherever it is, whether it's at Redbird or if it's in New York where they put these boxes together. You know, it's wonderful that we can all work together.
At the beginning, we said the mountains tell a story of beauty and heartbreak. But when you put those two together, you'll find faith.
I do it because I'm serving Jesus Christ.
Faith in one another, no matter the distance.
That's who we are as Christian people, is that we're people of hope.
Back a ways in Bell County, Jonathan Gregg, Spectrum News. We've all heard the expression, if walls could talk, suggesting a home is a living vessel.
And that's kind of what made me look at the neighborhood in a different light.
Recording all the good and all the bad that takes place in them.
Are what are called residual hauntings. You know, things that happened in the past, they kind of left their mark on a given house or a given mansion. They imprinted themselves.
When the circumstances are right, author David Domine might suggest these memories are played back in a whisper or a scream.
Tombs usually aren't made of wood, they're made of stone and brick. Hi there, who we got here? Yep, Ashley. How about you guys? Where are you from? Been here before or your first time?
California.
All right, first time?
Yeah.
Good. First time here?
Yes.
All right, it's that time of year to do spooky stuff.
Domine is the curator and host of the Old Louisville Ghost Tour.
This was an affluent neighborhood. This was a very wealthy part of town.
For the past 17 years, the once Wisconsin resident has been luring visitors through a hauntingly unique experience.
Pacing back and forth, sad, forlorn, and trance-like. This time, though, the third night, people said you could hear her sobs echoing down the sidewalks.
As one of the largest Victorian neighborhoods in the country, Old Louisville has the makings of a powerfully paranormal destination.
You'll see what's different about Old Louisville is we have lots of stone, we have lots of brick. What that means is these harder materials, they kind of impart a more solid, a more stately feel to the architecture. Over the years, I've investigated at least 100 supposedly haunted houses, and we've got 45 square blocks down here. And they think that might be one of the reasons this is such a haunted neighborhood.
And Domine should know. For years, he lived in a 3-story mansion on South 3rd Street.
Right before I moved in, the previous owner told me there was a ghost that came with the property.
A skeptic himself,
They had the weirdest looks on their faces.
Domine eventually could not deny a deluge of haunting experiences plaguing his every step.
And I spun around. I expected to see someone standing behind me the way the dogs were looking, but nobody was behind me. But I was standing at that wall where the pictures were always falling. But even though Conrad was very small...
Every night, March through November, Domine reveals the secrets of Old Louisville, never leaving out the grisly details.
It earned this house the nickname as Kentucky's American Horror Story House.
Domine has authored 13 books, and for a city steeped in so much haunting history, there's always another ghost story to tell.
She said all of a sudden she got this strange sensation because she could tell the room was freezing cold. She stood up and Jenny could see her breath puffing out in front of her face, and she felt this cold wind at her back, and all of a sudden she had this strange feeling like someone was watching her. So Jenny put the cookies on the counter. She slowly turned around, and when she did, 4 feet away, She saw a tall man in a white suit staring at her intently.
In Louisville, Jonathan Gregg, Spectrum News.